Hey all, Devin Sizemore here. Wanted to take a second to walk you through the connection expansion exercise. You should be able to make a Google Doc copy of the worksheet or download the Excel file as well. But I want to just kind of walk you through how this goes, give you some general talking points, things to think about as you're building yours. In this case, you'll see two tabs. The first is the financial advisor sample doc. You're going to see this in your document as well. This was just a quick walkthrough of the things I would be thinking about. And then typically I would go around and around and around through this. And then this is a living document. So this is something that as I'm receiving referrals or I'm doing my connection meetings, I'm coming back to and I'm expanding different types of contacts and people and things I'm learning about as I'm having those quality connection meetings. There's another tab here, which is a template document, which is just a blank version of it. It's really just the headers, and you can kind of fill it out as you see fit. But the categories match those covered in the book. So for this example, I'm going to act like I'm a financial advisor, and I'm looking to target business owners in the US doing revenue of $1 million to $10 million. And if they have multiple businesses, that's a plus. I'm not very specific. I haven't picked a niche yet. And so there's a lot of opportunity here to refine. And you'll see where that might come into play as we move through and how I might refine that later. The first category, again, aligning with the book, is vendors. Vendors is where does your ideal client spend money? So where are they spending money? So I listed some of these service providers and places they're spending money: business attorney, business CPA, business insurance agent. Those are usually kind of the three first ones when it comes to targeting a business owner. Maybe an estate planning attorney who'd be a good partner for me, payment processing, sponsorship sales reps are great. Along with that would be non-profit executive directors or nonprofit executive members. And then for gather, we'll come over here, we'll put nonprofit boards. So that just made me think as we were going down sponsorship sales reps. I love sponsorship sales reps because they're targeting business owners with money to write checks. And they typically can tell you like, hey, this business owner writes a 50, 100, whatever, however big the check is. And it lets you know like, okay, hey, if they're spending money, typically it qualifies their revenue. Marketing agencies are great because again, they know which clients are spending money on more advanced marketing services or care more about their marketing. HR consultants are good. Again, they can tell you which clients are scaling up, hiring C-suites, hitting certain moments. Staffing agencies for recruiting and placement, health insurance, business coaches, phone service companies if they're doing traditional, or it could be like a charter, an IT service company. So sometimes those blend. Again, IT companies, which could be managed service providers or security. Nonprofit executives are great because their board members, a piece of them are typically high quality business owners. And then they also are fundraising, right? So the people that are writing big checks often might be your ideal client, again, because they're writing big checks. Where are these business owners seeking education? This is where a niche will start to help you. So because we're vague, I just listed maybe the Chamber of Commerce for education events, owner groups like EO, TAB, which is the alternative board, could be Vistage, those kind of organizations, or networking groups, little tip, BNI, or other places that they network. Again, that's a form of education. Now, had we been specific and say I was targeting a business in the trades because they tend to have vehicles, maybe they own a commercial building, things like that, then I could come back to education and I could say builders associations, right? They also could have trade, continuing education, right? So what you might find as you go through this is this piece here, you might come back and define, and then it allows you to add more specificity. So in this case, we'll just bold those so you can kind of see that. Now, where did they gather? Again, to our first list, they gather in the C education, which is very common. Other business networking. So this might make me think about like, are there other networking organizations? I'm in the Reno market, so that might be Young Professionals Network, YPN. NCET is the Nevada Center of Entrepreneurship and Technology. It could be, we have a big golf event here, so it could be the Barracuda Championship in the sponsor deck or sponsor areas. We also have the Reno Aces. So that might be it. They might be going to, baseball, or sporting events, again, from a sponsor level. So those are all kind of places that you might be able to see them. Maybe niche organizations. Again, this goes back to if we get specific, we can add more to it. Nonprofit boards, I added that as we were doing this. Again, if they're active in the community, maybe they're there, or the people on the boards might have access to them. So kind of a win-win. Where do they seek influence? If we look at the influence piece, again, aligned with the book, who has influence over your ideal clients? Other high-profile business owners for sure, right? Whoever else they trust is going to be someone they lean into, coaches and other advisors. Who do they trust? I put mentors, coaches, spiritual leaders. These are really like typically the three. You could get more specific if you want with different people. And then connectors, this is where you name names. So in this case, I put 2 people I know who have big networks, right? And so that's the kind of flow for the connection expansion exercise, right? You go through and you build this out. And as you saw, as we were going through this here, I had already pre-filled some of it, but as you get more specific, you start to figure out where you have areas. Now, ease of access to most of my ideal clients and people I get along with would be places I would go. So for me, sponsorship sales reps are the type of people I really enjoy. So I might highlight sponsorship sales reps, and I love the nonprofit world. So I might highlight the nonprofit world. And so for me, these might be 2 pathways where I want to talk to B2B or sponsorship sales reps, nonprofit executive directors, to get to know them and understand their goal, but really to access their high profile clients. So those might be the 2 that I pick because I know people in that space and I enjoy talking to those people and I get along with them. Then what we would do is we would copy and paste this over, and we would start with the ideal client being sponsorship sales reps. And then how do we go through and access all of these ways to get a hold of them? Now, as we build that list, that's where I'm really starting to look at where do sponsorship sales reps gather or seek influence. And so maybe I find a sales coach who only coaches nonprofit executive directors, or a sales coach who only coaches sponsorship sales reps or sports sales reps or B2B sales reps. Then that might be perfect because I can go after them and say, hey, I want to be a value add for your ideal clients in this sector that I'm playing in. And some of my ideal clients might be a fit for you. Maybe they can write checks for the things you're doing, right? Because I have those kind of business clients. This is how we start to move through this process and develop that win-to-win. So hopefully this will just kind of show you a couple new takeaways. And again, just give you a template. For myself, and we're working on a project in partnership with $1 Million Author, we've got like 20 something tabs. So I went through and did this for all of our ideal clients. Then I picked the 2 to 3 for each ideal client, and I went through and did this again. Then I redefined our target list, and I redefined my ask when I'm networking on behalf of that company so that I know specifically how to get the connections to the people who have access to my ideal clients. Again, that's how we get rid of that friction in the process. So again, hopefully some takeaways here. Enjoy the template, play with it. If you have questions, you can always shoot me an email or reach out to me on the website. Thanks.